Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to... Have I been even saying what episode we're on, Rustbass?
I think it's been good.
It is. Newfound Glory, I like it. I like your call out this morning. But welcome to, I think we're on episode 55, 56, something like that?
Correct, 55.
Yeah, boy, Vaporwork Podcast with your boys.
Thank you.
Rustbass, Peach, and Walt. Peach isn't here. I saw him last night, though, so... I was hoping I tried to get him to come on to kind of recap. So
I'm glad he's alive and well.
He is alive and well. But no, it's WrestleMania recap show.
Yeah, everybody's favorite recap show.
Oh man, and this one is not going to run on for 17 and a half hours like WrestleMania did.
No, only 16.
Yes, we have standards.
Yeah,
we have standards. No, but yeah, we'll recap the whole weekend. I have a lot I want to talk about, just because I actually went up to the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden.
That means I get to sleep at some point during the show, so that's nice.
Yes, that's what I figured. You'll be interested in it. You'll enjoy my thoughts on it. But then yeah, we'll talk about everything else WrestleMania related. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's like you. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's literally the title of one of our episodes. So.
Is it really?
I think so.
No, I don't listen.
It might be the good, the bad, the beard.
Maybe.
Daniel Bryan came back.
I don't listen to this podcast. It's terrible.
Yeah, you should at least read the titles.
Oh, no. I try to make the titles before I upload the audio, and then you change them on me.
Yeah, your titles are usually bad.
I know. Whatever. Oh, man. All right. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start chronologically in the weekend? Do you want to start just me talking about Ring of Honor first, or do you want to handle all the WWE stuff first?
I said let's run through the WWE stuff, and then we'll get to your findings of the weekend. Okay,
so we'll start with NXT. I'm hoping you can talk about this because I actually didn't watch this yet.
Oh my God! So do you at least know what happened?
Yes, I saw the end of the Gargano Adam Cole match. I believe I started watching it after the first fall.
Yeah. Well, then you can speak on most of the night.
It did seem like it was a long match. It looked like it was like over an hour. It felt like.
Well, I could tell you one thing. It is actually 38 minutes.
Someone's on Wikipedia.
So Wikipedia is always correct.
Yes.
You know what, Walt? I will tell you this. You were on the ball this morning. This is what happens when we don't come on right away. You get some time to get some rest. You mention the episode number. You say to your boys. And then on Thursday, when we're recording Thursday morning, where you had 5 days now to watch the shorter of the weekend's events, you watched the whole 20 minutes of it. So thank you, Walt, for being prepared for the recap show.
Well, I watched. Well, that's the thing. I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to watch it after the fact because I knew what happened. But no, the 20 minutes that I watched of it, I watched live.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I didn't try to like pick it up like yesterday, like watch it at night or anything like that. I watched it live. Like when I ended up getting home on Friday night, I was like, God, let me throw it on real fast.
Well, I also benefit from not only working overnight, but working overnight where I have access to a laptop, headphones, and I can watch it. So I was able to literally miss any type of spoilers for NXT and WrestleMania, which I was a little surprised at. I almost got all WrestleMania in at work. I got everything up until the triple threat. I had to watch that at home, but it was tough. It was tough because my phone starts showing notifications of stuff, and I don't like being spoiled when I'm trying to watch.
Yeah, you do a much better job of avoiding spoilers than I do.
Not usually. Not usually. I'm usually really bad at it. Like the one time I was, not to get too off topic, but I think when the Undisputed Era lost the titles to
Mustache Mountain.
Yeah, to Mustache Mountain. it did not show on TV yet, and I was writing an article for We Podcast and We Know Things when I was writing stuff on there, and I go ahead and go on Wikipedia, and those motherfuckers on Wikipedia have the updated information that's not shown on TV yet, and it showed that Mustache Mountain was the champions, and it really, I was very unhappy. So I'm not the greatest I was not thinking at the time, like, you know what? They're not going to show that, you know? It hasn't been shown on TV. Who cares that it was recorded 3 weeks ago? So, yeah. I have not been the greatest at that either, so.
Just to give you an idea, I was scouring the web last night to find NXT spoilers for the tapings that took place last night, so that's where I go. So no, but talk about NXT since you watched it all. Like it, from everything I saw, and like the clips and stuff like that, it was probably one of the best NXTs ever. And I think we say that after every one.
Yeah, I think we do. I don't know that I would call it the best ever. I don't. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know what I'd put ahead of it. It was probably top 3. I think in my mind there was a clear-cut best match of the night. There was 2 very, very good matches, 4.5 stars, if you will, Mr. Meltzer. And then there was NXT does tag team matches right. I don't care. They could put anybody in their tag team match at TakeOver, and I just feel like they do it right. That Undisputed Era against Lorcan and Birch was out of this world, and we'll start off here with the War Raiders, Aleister Black and Ricochet. I mean, it was a match you expect out of the War Raiders, Aleister Black and Ricochet. It did not disappoint at all. It stood out like their tag team matches always do, and it was the only tag team match of the night, which is great because there's a lot of talent on the NXT roster, and they somehow find a way to get away with one tag team match and a bunch of singles matches.
I love how because their formula for their takeovers or pay-per-views essentially hasn't changed, and I love it. And just because like it's not at like WrestleMania, there was so much going on over such a long time. Yeah. Like this felt like one of their longest takeovers because like when I got home and I'm like watching, I'm seeing what time it's over. It's almost 11 o'clock. So they have a 3 and it was almost 10 o'clock because they started at 7 this year. But it was still like then that close to that 3-hour range, and it's like, wow, this is just you only have 5 matches during this 3-hour time frame, and so every match is getting time, which is beautiful, which is really great because it helps tells these stories.
Yeah.
I saw it was cool. The one clip I saw from it was at the end when War Raiders bowed to Ricochet and Black, just because that's their swan song of NXT.
Yeah, and then they left, and Black and Ricochet kind of bowed to the crowd, and it was it was a nice way to end it. And to be honest with you, I think they mentioned during this match, we had talked about it during the prediction show, I believe, that I was talking about Aleister Black and Ricochet being in all these matches.
Yeah, and
then they said it without really saying it why they actually were challenging for the titles on 3 Straight Things. It was so they can say the only team to ever fight for all 3 championship belts is Aleister Black and Ricochet. And they did it within less than a week.
Yeah.
And so they kept mentioning that. They mentioned it at WrestleMania as well. But when they mentioned it at NXT, I said, okay. All right. I knew there had to be something about this, why they were also in WrestleMania, why they were against War Raiders here, and I got it.
So for those unaware, we Russ Pass and I do a Skype call whenever we decide to record, and I just looked over your shoulder, and I saw something that's right there on your table. Other shoulder.
Book it.
Yes.
Is that what
Book. Yeah, I just saw it. I'm just like, oh, have you played it yet?
No, I haven't even opened it yet.
Okay.
That's why I have not announced that I got it yet because I haven't.
I'm sorry. Spoilers.
No, I mean I just I haven't tagged them in anything or anything. I wanna open it first and get a feel for it. But I'm very excited.
Cool. Sorry about that side conversation. I'm just peering over. I'm like, what is that?
It is at least tied into the show for those of you that may have heard the interview we did with Paul Laporte, the creator of Book It. Whoops. The pro wrestling promoter card game.
Yes.
So I will have my reactions on the game when I finally get to play it, but I have not opened it yet. Have not had the time.
So just from a timing standpoint, since we don't want to, we spent 10 minutes on one match so far. Right, was there any other match you really wanted to talk about?
I
just
want to
quickly
talk about all of them. I will quickly run over them. Don't worry. Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle. I mean, awesome. I love the fact that they let Velveteen go over in this match. I mean, I predicted them too, but the way they were kind of billing Matt Riddle, and I know they do it with all the new guys, they win the first couple matches. Would I have been shocked had Matt Riddle won this match? Not really. And the fact that if I remember correctly, and I'm trying to go off my memory here, Velveteen went over clean. I don't think there was any type of wonky finish, to use your word, wonky.
Thank you.
Finish to this match. So it was nice to see. It was nice to see Velveteen, pick up the victory here.
Velveteen's entrance was so cool. Oh my god, that was so great.
He is. I mean, I know that every time out, he's an absolute star. And if Vince, I know there was the rumors where Vince said he thought they didn't have anybody to base WWE around once Roman Reigns was out. And other than Lesnar and Rousey, he didn't think they had the guy or quote unquote the man.
Benumtus.
I think Velveteen could absolutely be that person for them. Absolutely.
I get nervous with him because his gimmick I feel is just going to be hard on the main roster.
I think his gimmick can get over without being as over the top as he is in NXT. I do believe so. And the thing is, he has the look of somebody how Finn Balor has the look if he was 5 inches taller.
Yes.
Velveteen has that look where he's believable in any way you want to use him. But we've already seen him in his, high flying abilities and stuff like that. But I would believe that he could keep up with, let's say, a Braun Strowman. I believe body type wise that he could at least somewhat hold his own in that type of match. So for him to have the charisma he does, the look that he does, I think there's a way to tone him down a little bit on the main roster without losing everything that he is.
He's so good.
I will skip over what was clearly and by definitely the match of the night, and I will go back to it.
Really?
Oh, I want to say not even close in my mind, and this is my sole opinion. This was by far may have been my favorite NXT TakeOver match.
Let's jump to the women's match then, because I know we're both reading off Wikipedia.
Yeah. So this was the order it went in. I actually watched it. So
damn,
Shayna Baszler won, which crushed all my hopes and dreams, because I went on this long spiel on the prediction show about how I was hoping for some type of 4 horsewomen, finish at WrestleMania, and hell, even Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, whatever. And it seems like the rumors may have been true that Rousey might be at least temporarily, if not permanently, done. So I love Shayna Baszler. I have no problem with her continuing dominating their women's division. They took Lacey Evans out, so I don't know that they have that heel waiting in the wings right now. So keeping her down there is not the worst thing in the world. But
no, plus
love
I
me
think
some Shayna Baszler.
I think it's also at the point there's no room for her on the main roster.
Yeah, and it's why not leave her down there? I mean, her and Bianca Belair have not had a long drawn out feud yet.
Yeah,
and I can only assume that Sane and Shirai will end up on the main roster as a tag team at some point. So I mean, why not? Why not? You can probably get a couple takeover matches out of the two of them. You know, almost in the Gargano Ciampa like vein, where you kind of have them back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah,
and maybe even Baszler is a 3-time champ. But yeah, there's no need to rush her up right now. There's just not. But I love Baszler. The match was good. Shirai and Sane had a face-off that was fun. I was surprised Baszler went over Belair. That's what surprised me in this match more than anything. But it was good. I mean, nothing special. It was good. And then Gargano, Adam Cole.
Baby.
Yeah. They had me believing Cole was going to win. And I was of the mindset, I was 100% Gargano. And I know you predicted Cole to win that match. I was 100% Gargano, and they had Undisputed Era come out. And I was like, these motherfuckers are going to give it to Cole. Like, they're going to give it to Cole. Gargano got screwed because Ciampa got hurt, and now Gargano's not going to get the title. I was certain Cole was going to win that match when Undisputed Era came out, and then everything that happened through it just made me more sure that Gargano was going to lose that match. And I love that NXT can do that to me, because the main roster has not been able to do that to me, and I feel like TakeOver, there's at least one match that does it to me every time, where I was certain and then so uncertain by a certain point of the match.
Like, that ending, like, I want to say 10 minutes of, like, Undisputed Era coming out, like, the, like, false finish after false finish, like, just, like, Gargano kicking out, like, it was a little absurd. Yeah. But I loved every single minute of it, to where I'm jumping at the screen like when he kicks out, like, yeah.
It was everything you want out of a wrestling match, and that's why it's tough for me to not say this was not the match of the night. I still hold a little bit of resentment that this should have been Ciampa and Gargano. So I don't know that this match was going to live up to anything that I would have liked to see, but it was an amazing touch that allowed Ciampa to come out there. I
love that it was two guys basically with no feud, like no story between each other.
It was probably as good of a match you could have gotten with two guys that really had there was not even a hint of a background between them in NXT.
Yes,
and for them to come out and have it thrown together the way it was done as perfectly as it could have been.
Yep,
I don't know that you could have asked for a whole lot more.
Yeah, I agree. Like, just with like that storyline, yeah, like the second half of it was like that. That's what the part that I caught live,
right?
And it's what you want in wrestling. I feel like bottom line, like, yes, you know it's scripted. You know but these guys are giving. You can tell they're giving their all, trying and just giving you just like, oh my god, like it was incredible.
And absolutely incredible. I will tell you one thing. To kind of compare it to the Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins Iron Man match, Cole picks up a victory very early in that match.
Yeah.
The announcing is the difference in making it seem shitty when there's just listen to them when Cole taps out. Like, literally right away. I think it might have been Nigel McGuinness. He goes, he tapped out right away to conserve his energy because he's already up 1-0. And right away it was like, you know what? That's true. Like, you're not watching it. Like, why the fuck did he tap out in 2 seconds? You know what I mean? That right away they jumped on it, and it was like, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like, they're not only pushing Cole as a smart wrestler, like, he knows right away, I'm up 1-0. This is meaningless. I'm not going to lose. You know, I'm not going to fight against it. So the announcing made that match even better than what it was.
Those three, it's him, Nigel, Morrow, and Percy still, right?
Yeah.
Percy Watson the evolution of him as an announcer has been amazing.
Yeah.
When we were there, so we weren't able to like listen to it live, but when we NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, I believe it was Nigel or Morello, or I forget who it was, had to miss it. So it was just whoever and Percy. And Percy he stepped up and he sounded so good. And like the evolution of him, like I remember when he first got put into that announcer spot, he was not good at all. And that's what I love about NXT is like it's letting these guys like evolve and like learn and become at every part of the production, not just the actual wrestlers.
Yeah, I personally, I'm not on the boat of hating Corey Graves like I know a lot of people are. I think he's one of, if not the best thing on the main roster's announced teams. I'd love to see him and Nigel in a 3-man though, because I love me Nigel McGuinness. I love me some. I would love to see them two, kind of with like a Michael Cole between them, just letting them two kind of spout off at the mouth the whole time.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
But
so all right, let's.
Walter, so my match of the night. I have
Dunn.
never seen Walter compete before. I actually had to look it up. I think I called him a 7-footer when we talked about him signing with NXT UK.
Yes.
Dude, he looks way bigger than he is. You know, he's 6'4".
He's only 6'4"?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Unless I looked up a different Walter, he's only 6'4". He does not view... Yeah, 6'4", 297 pounds. The dude weighs less than I do. And I'm 5'8". Weighs less than I do.
Jesus Christ. He looks like a monster.
Exactly, right? And then you put him against Pete Dunne, not realizing Pete Dunne's on the short side, too. But I see Pete Dunne is kind of like not that... He wasn't towering over Pete Dunne like I expected him to. And that's what made me look it up. So I don't think he looks like a 7-foot monster. And the funny thing is I can't wait to see like him next to Strowman because he's going to get dwarfed. And you're going to be like, wait. Like, I thought this guy was way bigger than he is. Man, does he, for his body type, can he move around?
So the one thing I saw from this match, and this is the match I really want to go back and rewatch, was the ending. That power bomb off the turnbuckle.
My God.
And then he jumped and did like a cross-body drop on him.
Yeah.
Like to fit. It was incredible.
Yeah, I can't.
This is how you end.
Good things about this.
This is how you end like a 680-day championship reign.
Yeah.
They had no easy way out of this because of how long Pete Dunne held it. And listen, it's shitty to say, but the main reason Pete Dunne held that title for so long was because it took them so long to get NXT UK off the to get it started.
Yeah. They needed to build something around it, and other than have it go back and forth between Dunne and Bate. For 2 years, they just just give it to like a non-British wrestler. And then pick up like so he held on. He's been a great champion. He's had great matches, so definitely earned it. But let's be real. One of the main reason is because of how long it took NXT UK to get off to get started. Yeah.
But it's always when you hear title reigns that long, it's like, all right, how are we going to get the belt off him?
Right.
And Walter's debut out of that first NXT UK episode was brilliant, and I was like, Pete Dunne's gonna lose. Pete Dunne is gonna lose, and I am fine with that because that's how you book it.
Yeah, I have
book it. See, there we go.
Like I said, I've not seen Walter wrestle before. I've not seen him or Pete Dunne really since Walter made his debut, and I literally just watched that match to see him come out after Dunne beat, I can't remember. That was the Liverpool takeover, though, right? I don't remember who he wrestled.
Blackpool? Yeah.
Blackpool? I don't know. Yeah, I guess Blackpool. But I have not seen anything. I don't watch NXT UK. Don't even read up about it. Have not seen anything since then. And to watch them enter the ring, I had chills. For literally because I seen a 5-minute spot of Walter coming out and just standing in front of Pete Dunne. Like I had like butterflies awaiting this match with two guys I know very little about. And I still, like I said, that's the biggest thing. Like, Gargano Ciampa would have topped that. I don't know that anything else could have topped it. And I didn't even come with previous knowledge. I just watched it and enjoyed it from start to finish. And it was done perfectly. Pete Dunne trying to get his fingers and stuff, and Walter kind of fighting him off. And that power bomb, my God, that power bomb! I could watch that over and over again.
It looks so painful.
I think Pete Dunne, what's his finisher called? Damn, why is it slipped my mind?
I got you. Hold on, give me a second. I forget what it is. That doesn't tell me his moves. What the hell? That's bullshit.
Well,
pump handle. Bitter end.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure he hit Walter with that.
Really?
It's slipping me because it
pump handle reverse STO.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he hit him with it, and there was just a lot about this match because I think Walter hit Pete Dunne with the power bomb before he hit him on the top rope, and that. You kind of went back and forth. You're like, maybe they'll let Pete Dunne hold it, but you kind of knew. And you're just like you said, how are they going to do it? And then that power bomb with the top rope, with the splash afterwards was like, dude. And Walter jumped.
He fought. That was like almost halfway, if not more than halfway across the ring.
And that's what, like I said, you think about it, and he looks like a 7-footer jumping across the ring, and then you realize, he's 6'4". And not to say it's any less impressive, but at that match, I could watch that match over again. We had a previous episode about what match would you show somebody.
It's this one.
This is probably it. You show a little the video package leading into it. This is it, and I'm excited for a rematch because I think you'll see Pete Dunne wrestle one more time in NXT UK, probably for the title and lose again, and then he'll be gone. Because I felt like this should have happened at NXT UK TakeOver. As much as I love seeing it, and it definitely deserved to be at WrestleMania's TakeOver, I feel like it was a missed opportunity for NXT UK's TakeOver.
I think I probably tend to agree, but I think they just they wanted to put it on here just to help get eyes to the NXT UK product, which so
and that's very true. But yeah, that was the only. If I could put a negative on this match, it was just I would have wished it happened at NXT UK.
So the one thing, and I don't know if we talked about this, but in the predictions, my one prediction for the show was going to be, who's going to appear in the front row. And I knew it was. I might have even said it. I knew it was going to be Kushida.
Yeah, you mentioned it in our predictions.
Did I? I wasn't sure if it was actually on the like on the ones we recorded, or if we had talked about it offhand. But I'm happy he signed. I'm very happy. I'm hoping he keeps the time splitter gimmick. It was kind of cool to see, like, so I knew it was going to happen because like they officially signed him on like Thursday or something.
Yeah.
Like they had at like maybe Access or something like that. They brought him up, signed him, which is good. But I'm excited for Kushida. I'm curious to see where he goes, how they do with him.
Right. Yeah, I think that was during our conversation at 205 Live. I'm pretty sure that came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I thought maybe he's going, but I guess he's going to be in NXT for now instead of 205 Live, which is fine. So no, there's your NXT show. Yeah. So do you want to do so technically Saturday night would have been the Ring of Honor show. Do you want me to talk about that since you were able to actually speak fully on
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I talk most about NXT, you get through this, and then we'll kind of run through the WrestleMania.
Yeah. So G1 Supercard, holy shit, was this a good time. Bought tickets kind of last minute. The tickets, so I sent you a picture of it. Madison Square Garden was my first time there. It has this thing called like the Chase Bridge. And it's like, if you have the 100 level and a 200 level, it's like a bridge that's suspended across the like above the 200 level. Like they call it like their 300 level. So I essentially am looking over, but the area we were at, like it was like their press box almost. Because when we go to sit down at our seats, there's like we're sitting at a table almost, like a glass countertop, so that we could put our food, our drinks down. Like I had a bag with me, I set my bag on top of the table, real nice. There's no one else around us, so like the chairs we were on had wheels, so like you could like it was like a wheeled folding chair with cushion, so like you could like push back. My seat was right on the edge, like right before you went physically downstairs to like the front level of this section. So I was standing up and sitting down the whole night and just like leaning on like this like glass railing, which is great just because I had the freedom to move around. I wasn't confined. I loved it. The seats made it so much better. Second best part about the seats, there's a TV in our seats. Like underneath the glass. I don't know if I told you this, if I said about the TV. There was a TV, like a small 7-inch TV, like in our glass. It had all cable channels. So we were watching the NCAA tournament, like partially while the matches were on. The best thing about it, it had a live feed of the TV production of the G1 Supercard.
Oh.
So because of what our seats were basically parallel with the entrance ramp. So we were missing some stuff that was going on. It wasn't perfect, but because of the TV, we could flip on that, and like if we missed something, it was about a 5-second delay maybe.
Right.
Go to the TV and see what we missed.
That's
we couldn't get. It was great. So we get there. We get there right when before it starts. There was a dark match. And the one cool thing about the dark match is I don't know a lot of the female wrestlers in Women of Honor or even like kind of like the New Japan Japanese side. But there's a wrestler, Jenny Rose, who we kind of have a personal connection to.
Yes. Wrestled
at Madison Square Garden. And it was pretty awesome to kind of see that. And that was just the opening like dark match. Nice. Their pre-show match was basically their Honor Rumble, which was a 30-man Royal Rumble match. This would dictate the night. The New Japan guys got cheered so much more than the Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor got shit on this entire show, essentially.
Right.
So Kenny King came out first. He was your first number one entrant. He got pyro, which I yelled. I was like, holy shit, there's pyro. And some dude in front of me just started laughing. You know how I get at these shows.
Oh, yeah. You're so proud of yourself.
Number 2 was Minoru Suzuki. The place erupted. Like, the crowd wasn't even there yet, and it was so goddamn loud in that arena when Suzuki came out. It then just kind of went down. It alternated between, like, a bunch of Ring of Honor guys would come in. New Japan guys would come in. The New Japan guys just got cheered so much more. The Bullet Club guys, Chase Owens got cheered really loud. Bad Luck Fale, he got a great reception. Jushin Thunder Liger came out. The place blew. Like, they went crazy. Ishii came out as well. And, again, the place erupted when he came out. But probably the loudest cheer for a Ring of Honor guy was Toru Yano came out, and he went, like, instead of going into the ring, he went over to the announcer's desk. Colt Cabana was one of the announcers. He gave a spot to Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana went into the match. That was probably the loudest cheer for a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah.
And then at the end of their number 30, and I don't know as much about. I realized who it was after the fact, but I didn't appreciate this as much. But the Great Muta came out as a surprise entrance, and the place erupted. At one point, you had the Great Muta and Jushin Thunder Liger in the ring. I forget who they were, who he was going against to throw out. I forget who it was, but then there was a standoff between Liger and Muta. But then Kenny King hit underneath the ring, came back out, threw them both out. He got booed real bad. So that was kind of your opening match. And again, all throughout the night, it was straight Ring of Honor got shit on. New Japan guys got cheered. So Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb, that was a really fun match. I really like Ospreay. You had a lot of title for title matches, and this was one of them. Jeff Cobb ended up winning. It was the first time I've ever seen Jeff Cobb really wrestle. For a bigger guy, he's pretty agile, and he looked pretty good. The next match was Rush versus Dalton Castle. It was like a 30-second match, if not like that. But Dalton Castle's entrance was so absurd. Like he got carried out like the peacock. Like he does this thing with like he has like peacock feathers. Well, at one point like he had like all like the boys around him, and they held up signs that makes him turn into a giant peacock, and it was so cool. I actually like after Dalton Castle's entrance, I ran to the bathroom real fast. Missed the entire match.
Did you miss the next match too?
No. The next match was a women's match, but the Dalton Castle, then he turned on the boys afterwards, which was cool. Like that was probably like the Ring of Honor's best segment. Well, no, actually, I don't know. But Dalton Castle, that was fun. So the women's title match, Kelly Klein versus Maya Iwata. I'm butchering that. What I am butchering that. I apologize.
I'm looking at the name as you're saying it, and that's not how I would have pronounced them. Just yeah.
So after my butchering of the language, I really didn't know much about this, so like it was a good match. I wasn't invested in it. But then after the match, the beautiful people came out, Angeline Love, Velvet Sky, and then basically it looks like they're taking over Ring of Honor or something like that. I was just like, like the beautiful people was not the surprise I was looking for from like the women's side.
Was there a surprise you were looking for from the women's side?
Something that I would have understood, but but actually, so this is where the TV really came into play. During that match, when the beautiful people came down, I'm looking from our seats. I can't tell who these people are from where we're sitting, walking down the entranceway. But looking down at the TV, I'm like, oh, okay, beautiful people. The next match, so earlier in the night, so it was originally supposed to be a open challenge from Bully Ray. Yeah, Juice Robinson accepted it. Well, like during the night, kind of similar to when we were at the Royal Rumble, Juice Robinson got attacked in the backstage area. Okay. And Bully Ray comes out, he's like, well, I guess I got no competitor. Flip Gordon's music hit. The place erupted because he was hurt. He wasn't supposed to wrestle here. Came out, and then I only found this out by reading the results. I didn't know it turned into a 6-man tag team match. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought it was just a one-on-one where basically Bully Ray had Shane Tyler and Silas Young come out and kind of help him. Just because I thought it was a New York street fight, I thought they were just all out there doing that. Because Flip
did it not become a 6-man tag, and they just Wikipedia is just leading us down.
They were just all fighting, and like Flip Gordon pinned Bully Ray for the win. So I have no idea, honestly.
Well.
Also, just to give you an idea of my current state, I didn't sleep at all Friday into Saturday. Saturday morning, I ran a 15K, and then took a train up to New York, and I'm running on like no sleep at this point. So I might have missed that because I was also starting to drink. I was at the point where I'm drinking Twisted Teas just to get sugar in me. So the next match was probably my favorite match of the night, my unexpected favorite match of the night.
Okay.
The IWGP Junior Heavyweight, Dragon Lee, Ishimura, and Bandino. So much fun. Like, it was just high-flying junior heavyweight action that you want. I really didn't have a pick for this match. Ishimura, possibly, just because the Bone Soldier and Bullet Club just because I'm a mark, I guess. I don't know.
That's true. Well, technically you're Matt, but yeah.
Thank you. But that was a really fun match to watch. Like, it was fast paced. I don't remember some of the spots from it. I just remember it being really good. And
I'm not surprised this is your favorite match. It's the second shortest match other than the 15-second squash match, and it had 3 guys involved in it too.
3 high flyers.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of high flying action. Didn't go on too long, like you said. You're not really invested in many, if any, of these matches. So you got 3 guys flipping around, jumping around in a shortened match. I mean, I'm saying I can understand why you would enjoy it if you're not invested in other matches.
Exactly.
This one, at least high flying for less than 10 minutes, is not the worst thing in the world.
No. So the next match I was upset about because it's the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match, and they turned it into a Fatal 4-Way. It was originally, I think it was originally GOD versus Villain Enterprises. I don't understand PCO. Like, I don't know why he's a thing. He came out in an electric chair and was getting electrocuted to wake up. But with that being said, he took a fucking... If you thought the powerbomb from Walter to Pete Dunne was painful, GOD did a powerbomb to PCO to the outside of the ring. Like, just straight on the mat. I was like, it hurt so bad, and he gets right back up. So this was a good match. GOD ended up winning. But then, did you hear what happened after the match?
Yes, I did.
So again, the match ends. I run to the bathroom. I'm coming back out, and I hear a commotion going on. And I sit down, and Peachy says something like, I forget what the hell he said. And I'm like looking over. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, oh, it's Enzo and Cass. I'm like, what? So apparently Enzo and Cass jumped the barricade and started attacking the Ring of Honor guys to try to make it look like a shoot thing, because Enzo has done not this exact thing, like jump the barricade, but made his presence known at a wrestling event. Yeah. But based off of this, it seemed like a work shoot type thing. Worst possible timing for them to do this, because at the exact same time is when the fan jumped and tackled Bret Hart during WWE's Hall of Fame ceremony. And you had everybody looking at their phones, including myself, trying to figure out, is this real? Is this related to that? What the hell is going on?
Right.
The exact same time. So it just came off terribly. You had the entire arena, fuck you, Enzo, just chanting. It was oh my God. It was the second part was so confusing, but so much fun. Cass looked drunk. When I saw him, the way he was moving, he just looked like he was hammered.
Maybe he was.
He might have been, but I was just in my head, if this is a Ring of Honor, because they only attacked the Ring of Honor guys.
Right.
They only attacked basically the Briscoe brothers and PCO, or with Villain Enterprises. They didn't touch the New Japan guys, so I'm assuming this is a Ring of Honor stunt.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell that I see. So if they're gonna try to go for the Ring of Honor tag team titles, Enzo and Cass is gonna beat fucking Gorillas of Destiny. No, not a chance in hell. Never believe that. I can't see Enzo and Cass being the Briscoe brothers, fucking Villain Enterprise. These actual tag teams, they're so gimmicky. They don't fit in Ring of Honor, in my opinion.
No, it does show you one thing though, and this is one thing I can speak on only because I've seen it all over the place. Ring of Honor is scared of losing guys to AEW.
Oh yeah,
and that's why shit like this needs to happen, and not only them, but beautiful people. I think those are two huge in their mind. They believe huge signings, but it's two huge indicators that they are scared shitless of losing their guys to AEW. That they have to bring in, people like this, and it's not a knock on either one of them. But like you said, Ring of Honor is not known for their over the top gimmicky wrestlers, and
or
Enzo
if they're
is all gimmick. That's all they are.
Their gimmicky wrestlers are also good wrestlers. I'll go Dalton Castle, for example. Like, he is a great wrestler. He was their champion, and he deserved it. He is a good wrestler. But like Enzo and Cass, not really.
Yeah, they're entertainers first, wrestlers 12th.
Yes. So then the next match, and a lot of this took buzz out of the room for this match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi. Seeing Tanahashi enter was so cool. I can see why he's the ace, or he is the golden child of New Japan.
Right.
Such a good technical match. It was cool seeing Taka Minoru with Zack Sabre Jr. I don't follow the story as much, so I don't know if it's been. I'm assuming he's been with him for a little bit, kind of as his mouthpiece.
Nah. Or if he just randomly came down with him for this match.
That's what I don't know how it was set up. But Sabre beat him by submission. And then probably my favorite match of the night was next. Abushi versus Naito. Again, and this is where you just saw it. The New Japan guys, like, the crowd went crazy during this match. Abushi pulled out Nakamura's Bamye, or whatever he called it in New Japan, in the middle of the match, which was a great callback. The crowd went wild for that. And then ultimately, when Abushi ended up winning, building erupted. Like, this could have been your main event,
right? With
like all the excitement around it. But it was so cool. It was so cool seeing Naito like kind of walk down to the ring. It was just a really cool experience. Like these right. Like the second half of it is what was so worth actually going.
Yeah.
And then honestly, your piss break match in between the Intercontinental Championship and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship was the Ring of Honor Triple Threat match. They got this wrong. Like, I think, like, Marty Scurll, Marty Scurll probably got the loudest cheers of the night of, like, any Ring of Honor guy. Obviously, just because of the Bullet Club relation, and, like, right. And you talk about gimmicks. Like, he's a great wrestler with a weird gimmick that works. But it was a really good ladder match that I would not have, based on everything else, like the very wrestling centric, it was not wrestling centric. Like, I think New Japan kind of took the reins of like, okay, we're going to focus on the wrestling part of it. Ring of Honor was like, okay, we'll focus on the gimmick part of it. And this was, it was a very good ladder match. I really enjoyed it. Matt Taven winning was cool. He brought out a purple ladder in the middle of the match, and that's what he won on, which I really liked. But I think Marty Scurll should have won, just because, like, this is where it's like, I guess you have like the bad guy, the guy that's going to get booed, win this match just because of how the next match was going to go,
right? For
that winner. So I guess that's how it was. But like, I don't know. But it was.
Do you think that Scurll might be AEW bound? And
he will be.
That's a reason.
Oh yeah, when his contract's up, he's definitely going there. That's not
is it known when his contract's up?
He's got like 2 years left.
Oh,
like,
really?
He had just re-signed. Like,
I was curious if it was possible that if it was done soon, or in the relative, maybe they wouldn't want to push him winning this match if he was going soon, Yeah, not that soon. But then the main event, Okada Jay White. Holy shit, Okada is incredible. Seeing his drop kicks live are insane. The finishing segment of where Jay White's going for the switchblade, reverses it into a Rainmaker, into a spinning tombstone, picks him back up, and actually grabs him from the back, spins him around, and does the Rainmaker. My one annoyance with this is timing wise, this got over at like 11:55. I don't like doing this, but like as soon as Okada pinned White, we booked it out of there just because there was like a 12:15 train to get back to the train station, right?
And we were like, okay, I want to go. Like we have a long ride home,
right?
When Okada did the Rainmaker thing, so have you on the Okada matches where he like kind of goes out, puts his arms out, and yells like Rainmaker, and like the camera zooms all the way out. When I was so giddy when he did that during the match. Like Jay White, he looks like a star, man. Yeah. Like I can't believe how he's kind of come up as like how he became champion. Like he looks good. Like I have so like it's so weird. Like I don't have much to say, right. But I have so much to say because it was so much fun. Like it was kind of like I've always thought about going, and I bought the tickets kind of last minute. Tickets were $40 a piece. It was well worth it. I'm happy this is the one wrestling thing I did this WrestleMania weekend up in New York. I'm happy I didn't go to like any of the WWE shows or WrestleMania, anything like that. I'm happy I just did this one.
All right. By the way, I called Jay White losing. I said this could be a good feud, but they need Okada to. It needs to be. If it could be its own Okada Omega, but Jay White couldn't beat him, at least not the first time. So yeah, it was. I kind of thought Okada was going to win just because of where it was at, what it meant. Right. So like I was like, it's very hard for me to think Okada's not going to walk out of here as champion. But yeah, overall loved it. Best part about it is I wore a Flyers hat and nobody gave me shit from New York, so I was happy about that. Yeah, well, it's New York. Yeah. I'm not going to touch that any further than it's New York. Fair enough. So, all right. Yeah, I hope they do something similar there again. If they do another similar thing like this up there, I'll probably try to go up again. Yeah. So, hopefully next time you'll be able to join me. Yeah, I was painting with a twist and eating at Applebee's. So, I'm pretty sure I made out better. Probably. I was with Peachy the whole night, so yeah, I had to explain to him what wrestling was. He did know who Enzo and Cass was, though. So yes, he told me. So, so I've lost more credibility at a wrestling show. Yeah, that's not a shocker. Alrighty, so all right. Well, here goes the 17,000 matches of WrestleMania. So here's where I jumped in at. Now I don't like. So I completely missed the pre-show. I didn't get to Fico's house until like 7:30, and in my head I'm like, all right, open a match isn't going to be anything big. First off, in the pre-show, and I'm upset I missed this. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder won the tag team titles. Yes, I seen the whole event, by the way. Oh, did you? Yeah. How was this match? Was it good? Oh yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't expect them to win it because you don't expect too many title changes. I know that had a lot to do with our predictions. Yeah. Not expecting 7. There were 7 title changes. Yeah, and you don't expect them to cater to the crowd as much as they did with the winners throughout the whole show. So, I called the Tony Nese one, which I did not realize he's from New York. And when he I didn't know that either. Or he's local. I don't know if he's from exactly New York or New Jersey, but he's local. So when he won, and if I had known that, I would have picked him. I picked him anyway, but I kind of figured Hawkins or Ryder wouldn't. You know, I figured that was like the hometown winner was the Tony Nese one. So when they had them win, that was awesome. Hell, I'll even say the women's battle royal was semi-entertaining. I was like, oh wow, they had Sarah Logan win. Wow. And then Carmella comes sliding under. It's like she must have gotten thrown underneath the rope at some point. But you never seen it. They never made reference to it. So it was a legit surprise to me when she came in. I was like, oh, shit. But I was like, oh, my God, they let Sarah Logan win. That's pretty cool. Let's see where they go with this. And then Carmella comes in. And it made a little bit more sense. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was awful. Was it? Although I will tell you one thing. Braun Strowman is in the best shape that he has been in. He looks... I don't know what the hell happened to him. I must not be watching wrestling recently. I don't know if he's been slowly getting into this. But goddamn is he in great shape. Like, excellent. Like, really, really good shape. They had him... He wasn't wearing the shoulders. He just had no shirt on and just pants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude,
okay.
He's in really, really good shape, and he showed that shit off too. Yeah, I think I think he's prime for to take over as the
basically, it looks like he
champion.
might be going to SmackDown.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised to see him squash the fuck out of Kofi.
I hope.
Yeah,
not.
I know they wouldn't do that. Yeah. But I could see him possibly maybe squashing Daniel Bryan after Bryan win the title back or something like that. Yeah, looks he's beastly looking, like better than I've ever seen him look.
So I missed all of the pre-show, and I'm just in my head. I'm like, all right, it's going to be like. I didn't think it was going to be an IC title match just because of Demon Balor coming out. But I'm like, all right, like maybe Miz Shane or like maybe even they'll start.
We discussed this, and I wanted to listen back to the episode because there was one match I said to you, is there any chance they started off with this? And you right away said, no way.
I don't know if it might have been Kofi Bryan. You said that with. I don't know if you said it, but so they started off.
I don't think I would have thought Rollins Lesnar, but I think it was one of the two championship matches, and then it was like a 2-second me saying it real quick, you saying no way, and then we went off. And I wanted to go back just in case it was this, so I can rub it in your face, but I don't remember which one it was.
So I scrolled down. I'm driving. I'm stuck in traffic, so I'm dead still. So I pull out my phone. I'm just like, I see. Okay, quick update. It's like Rollins waving the title around or something like that. I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I go through. I'm just like, they started off with the Universal title match. Really?
Did you go back and see how it started?
It was a squash. Like didn't Lesnar try to beat the shit out of Rollins?
Yeah. Did you see how it all started at all?
No.
So Alexa Bliss comes out and talks about WrestleMania moments and stuff, and she said I could do it with the snap of my finger. So she snaps her finger, and Hogan's music plays. So Hogan comes out, and it's her and Hogan. They're doing the pose off and stuff, right? So they're out there doing the pose off, and Paul Heyman comes out, like jetting down, like speed walking past them. So he walks down the ring, and he says, if Brock Lesnar's not going to be in the main event, then we're going to do this match right here, right now, so we can get business taken care of, and Lesnar can head on to Vegas to somebody who ultimately cares, about like whatever, like he said something like that, ultimately cares about us being in the main event or whatever. Yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. The funny thing, what I read was that this was a last second change. It literally was changed during the pre-show to the point that they said Hogan looking genuinely surprised when Heyman walked past him was not him acting. He really did not expect Heyman to be coming down while they were literally still posing off and showing them, and he just like comes out of nowhere, like right next to them, and you're like, wait, what? What's Heyman doing? So for a last minute change, it was a hell of a way to do it. Then Lesnar kind of beat down Rollins, and they kept asking Rollins, "Are you good to go? You good to go?" kind of thing,
And then, Rollins basically squashed him in like 2 minutes with 3 curb stomps.
Yeah, it was essentially Lesnar suplexing him, doing his shit, and then Rollins kind of got. I think the ref got pushed out. Rollins, he low blowed him.
Yeah,
and then he curb stomped him, and a bunch of times, and new champion. To be honest with you, when I seen it was starting off, I thought there was a shot. I did not expect Rollins to win, and we talked about this because I expected the other 2 titles, big matches, to change hands.
Yeah.
When this came on first, I thought the likelihood skyrocketed. And we talked about this. Depending on where matches are in the show, could be a big indicator who's going to win. I thought the odds of Lesnar winning this match going off first was slim to none. Like, I thought there was almost zero chance that Lesnar was going to win at that point. There's no point in putting it on number 1 if Lesnar's going to win.
Oh, yeah. So, and then, this was probably supposed to be the opening match. Styles versus Orton was next.
Yeah, and I think we both kind of agreed that it made sense as an opening match.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was, nothing. I think we even said this during our predictions, this wasn't a WrestleMania match. It was it was a good built storyline, but it should have been on a be pay-per-view or something like that. Like nothing.
See, did we say that in the predictions?
I thought
this
we did.
was one of the matches I was excited for. But you're going to get what you get out of Styles and Orton. Yeah. Now, apparently the crowd wasn't fully into it, and there was chants going on that I could not understand, only to find out afterwards it had a lot to do with the lighting.
Yeah.
And the crowd's chant, and actually Orton apologized.
And Orton made a great comedy thing on SmackDown. Did you see SmackDown?
No, I did not.
He came out and randomly RKO'd Mustafa Ali.
Right.
And as he's walking back up the ramp, he's covering his eyes like from the light.
Well, if you've seen him during the match, I think he understood what was going on during the match, and he even started like taunting the crowd during that match. Like, you could tell that the crowd noise had nothing to do with the match, and Orton was trying to make it seem like it had to do with the match.
Okay.
Like, he raised his arms to the crowd and was brushing them off and stuff like that. They almost tried to make it seem like they were booing him, which I thought was great because it was years ago, the Royal Rumble, was it Cena Orton that the crowd just shit all over? I think that was the Daniel Bryan-less.
I think I know it. Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
They went on right after Daniel Bryan wrestled or something like that.
Yeah.
And the crowd just shit on the whole rest of that pay-per-view, especially that match. That's when Orton mouth this crowd's awful or something like that, or he said something like that. So I found it funny that the hothead in Orton seemed to make a quick change in a match to almost try to all right, you're not going to take this over because of other shit this time. He almost kind of was thinking on his feet, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. So your next match was the Fatal 4-Way for SmackDown. I have nothing really, Ricochet's entrance looked awesome. That was really the highlight for me.
Yeah.
Usos ended up winning. Nothing crazy.
No, it would, like we said, with all the title changes, a couple of them had to stay. This one was one of the more obvious ones.
Yeah. Then you had Shane McMahon versus The Miz, which was... This match is when I realized it was starting to be a long night.
It was probably at least 5 minutes too long.
I liked and didn't like the whole Mrs. Dad's thing coming into the ring.
I think I even said it when we were doing the predictions, but I was completely kidding about his dad getting involved. I did like it. I thought it was cool because Miz is obviously such a big fan. I think it was cool if his dad has always wanted to do that to get him involved. I did think that part was cool. I thought it was a little too drawn out of a match. They would have had the same effect, like I said, had you done it in 10 minutes instead of 15. And the finish was great because it keeps this going, which there's no reason to end it right now as long as Shane wants to continue to wrestle.
Yeah, and I liked it. I would have liked Miz to get a win, but it was also going in. I think we both put the Miz to win this.
Yeah.
But it was this was a way for a wrestler to beat a non-wrestler to beat a wrestler.
Yeah, and like I said, to continue it, if the Miz wins this, it's almost like
it's over.
There's no sense in going on. Yeah, he got paid back, all that stuff. So now it was the Miz won, but he really didn't win. So it gives a reason to continue it on.
So the next match, women's tag team title match, took me completely by surprise, and I was so happy with it.
Yeah, probably the biggest surprise of the night for me.
Yeah, probably. Second biggest surprise, but even the other one I didn't really count as a surprise. But it's the next match. So, but Iconics won. You saw them crying. To me, I just thought it was really cool. If there was a tag team to win this, part of me would have liked Natalya and Beth Phoenix to win it.
Yeah.
Just because they were really the first real tag team.
Right.
But if Beth Phoenix wasn't going to be doing this no longer term, it made sense for the Iconics for a title change. Are Bayley and Sasha Banks better wrestlers than the Iconics? Yes. But Iconics deserve it just because of that. This has been their gimmick the whole time, and it works, and it shows they're a real tag team.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
Yeah,
the match itself wasn't. It was. I just get nervous whenever I see Nia Jax and Tamina in a ring, just because someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it had its spots. It was nice to see Beth Phoenix and Natalya get their spots.
Beth Phoenix looked great.
Yeah, it was nice to see them kind of get both of them get their spots, get their tag team spots out of the way. Yes. You know, it was nice to see in that mode. Again, it was surprising to me. I hated it purely because I had been sitting here since NXT hoping for some type of four horsewomen, some type of all four titles hauled up at the end of the night. But the plus side is, if that's not going to happen, I love Sasha Banks heel. Yes. So if this can somehow get this Boss and Hug connection done and over with to get us a Sasha Banks heel, possibly against Becky in some way, shape, or form, I'm all for that. You know, I think they're all. I know they need their tag teams, and Nia Jax and Tamina will probably stick as a tag team for a while because there's no reason to separate them. To be honest with you, you're going to need your tag teams. But I would hope that this would lead to a split at some point. That's the only plus side outside of the Iconics finally winning. Is to see them split, hopefully.
So next match, Kofi Kingston wins. I almost lost it when Xavier Woods was crying in the middle of the ring. Like, this was probably best match of the night. Like, this lived up to all the expectations that were set for it.
Yeah, I would love to say that it probably shouldn't have been because of a certain ending. But yeah, it was the best.
Exactly. The main event ending kind of.
Yeah.
Like I could talk about this for like Xavier Woods like revealing the title with Kofi's plates on it. His kids jumping in the ring like this. If it wasn't this year, this would have been a beautiful main event finish.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing you can say about this match.
Yeah, when Biggie brought the box down, I had assumed that was the old title in it. I didn't expect it to be shirts. But yeah, everything about it was fun. You know, it was, like you said, it was the perfect ending to stage 1 of WrestleMania. That's the funny thing is adding Seth Rollins and Lesnar to the beginning of this, and we talked about this a little bit. It separated the three biggest matches of the card in a way that they never do. It felt so much better to me. If I'm going to watch 7 hours of wrestling, I want my main events broken up, or I have no reason to watch the first 3 or 4 hours.
Yes.
And it was perfect because you got the Finn Balor entrance later by doing this. You know what I mean? Yep. It made sense the way they broke things up. And I think it was done beautifully. I think that I don't know that I could have mapped out this card any better after already knowing the matches.
Yep. So the next match was Joe Mysterio, a squash match. I loved, but again, I got exactly what I wanted. Coolest entrance. Joe just walking, and especially with this match, just walking down to the ring, you hear the Joe chants audibly. And then he just squashes Mysterio and then leaves. Nah. Loved it as Joe was just dominating. Reigns wins against McIntyre. It was a good match. It was a match I probably would have liked it better on another card. Right. But it was exactly what I didn't realize it was Reigns' first singles match.
I did not either. You know who actually spoiled that one for me?
Who?
That it was his first singles match back was Liam.
Really?
My 6-year-old, I guess, quote unquote stepson.
Yes.
He wanted to watch WrestleMania. Now I was trying to avoid everything WrestleMania. So when Jess had picked him up and brought him here, he wanted to put it on, and I could hear it from the bedroom. And I came out with my hands over my ears, and I said, "Can you lower this?" And then she lowered it a little bit and realized, like, oh crap! So she made him put headphones on. But she goes, "Yeah, he wanted to watch Roman Reigns' first match." And I said, his first match back. No, he's wrestled. And then it clicked. I was like, oh, crap, is this his first singles match? And then they mentioned it during it. I was like, oh, okay. Wow, a 6-year-old just fucking schooled me on
wrestling.
On wrestling. See, Peachy schooled you, and 6-year-old schooled me. So it was a bad weekend for us.
It's the same. It's the same mental capacity. But it is what it was. It's what it needed to be.
Yeah. And this card did not need a huge Reigns moment. It just needed what it was.
Yes.
It fit in well with the downside of this card. You needed a little bit of time from the Kofi celebration. Joe got that quick win, and then this kind of toned things down, especially leading into the next match. It was what it was.
Triple H Batista, and like this was like, so I was over Fico's. It was me, Fico, and Palminger watching it. We see Batista trip in, and me and Palminger are just like, dude, he's going to pass out during this match. He looked like, already to begin with, he looked like he was going to faint. He was like out of breath, and like we were just scared shitless that something, like he was going to mess up somehow.
Yeah.
And that's all was in my head all the way through the match. So I had like a tinted view for it. But like thinking back on it, I was like, this was a great match. Like it was a hardcore match. Ric Flair got involved and gave Triple H the win. It was low key Batista's retirement match.
Yeah. It was more than I expected out of the match.
The power bomb from Triple H to Batista on the steel steps, where he bounces off the steps onto the mat, that just looked so painful.
Yeah. I wish they didn't show Triple H pull both sledgehammers out at that one spot. If I could have done anything differently, that would have been the one thing, is not showing the second one so clearly. And having Ric Flair a surprise with the second one, I think that would have made a pretty good match to a good match in my mind. But it gave you the hardcore spots, between this and Shane McMahon and The Miz, it gave you that hardcore craving without spoiling one of the bigger matches on the card with it.
Yes.
So I did enjoy that. The nose ring thing.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It was gimmicky, and I really liked it.
Yeah, and what he did to his finger, he clamped his finger or whatever.
Yes.
It gave a lot of everything in it.
I'm glad.
Full well they weren't going to put on a wrestling clinic.
I'm glad this happened. I'm glad Batista. I love that if this was Batista's last match, if it really was his retirement, and the way he did it, like low key, like that's where you can tell he just really does love this business.
Yeah.
So, then you had Baron Corbin defeat Kurt Angle, which was, I guess, surprising. I don't know, so I forget where it was at. At some point Cena.
I was just about to say that now that we're on here. The Cena Elias thing, which was, oh my god, if Cena was not going to come out and wrestle Angle,
this was the best way to do it.
That was the best way to have Cena involved.
Yes.
I think it was earlier than this, only because I remember thinking, they already had Cena come out. He's not going to wrestle Kurt Angle now, which I think was done correctly by having that happen first. So you didn't have the fans chanting for Cena the whole time because they already got their Cena fix earlier in the night.
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious, though, to not only get Thuganomics, the Dr. Thuganomics Cena, but also have the Ruthless Aggression plain shorts Cena come out. That was the only thing I'm sitting there. I was like, are we going to get two different old school Cenas in the same night? But
yeah, the Cena segment was perfect.
Yeah.
Then the Angle Corbin match, like if they do this the right way with Corbin, the win is deserved. But I feel like they're going to just flounder on it. Yeah,
I think so. I think that's been the definition of Corbin's career, and I don't think it's a whole lot of fault of his own. I think he has a lot of potential. I think they put him in spots, and then they're not using him. They backtrack on the spots. They don't want to. Yeah, they push him and then pull him back, and it's like, all right, well, what are we supposed to think about this guy? But I will say it was a great way to have him lose. I love the fact that they let him do the moonsault.
Yes.
Thank God. The fact that not only did I
thought he hit his head. I thought he hit his head. I thought he hit his head at the bottom of
the other one.
Yeah.
that one was actually way more cleaner than the other one, and I was surprised seeing him because I would have loved to see him win the match with that. But I think Bully Ray had even posted this about it, like Corbin winning the right decision. No veteran wrestler should ever win their last match. It doesn't make any sense for a veteran to win their last match with retirement. It just doesn't make any sense for anybody, including The Undertaker, which we all talked about when he finally lost. No, I'm saying now it might, but had he not lost at WrestleMania, it made complete sense for The Undertaker to lose his very last match and fade in obscurity because he lost his WrestleMania streak.
Yes.
The fact that he's already lost it, I can understand him not losing, at least not in WrestleMania again, because then it kind of holds up what Lesnar and Reigns did as otherworldly, you know?
Yes. So then after that match, you had Baylor versus Lashley, which is the Demon entrance was cool. I really liked it. It was a quick match. Baylor won, which was kind of as expected from that point, just because he was coming out as the Demon.
Yeah.
It was a nice little bit breather between kind of these couple matches before your main event.
Right.
So your main event, triple threat match. I wish it didn't have the table spots. So I'm going to talk about this fast, even though I want to talk about it a lot more, just because I do have to get to work.
Yeah.
Do you have to go, or?
No, I can probably get another 10 minutes or less.
Okay. I wish it didn't have as much of the hardcore spots as it did. I wish it was more of a pure wrestling match. I loved Ronda Rousey's attitude during it. They did so many things I feel right in this match, and then that finish just like it just threw it off. Like to me it took so much more away from even like I don't know if that was like so the finish apparently got botched or something like that.
Right.
Where like Becky basically did like a quick roll up and Ronda's shoulders weren't all the way down.
Yeah.
My issue with that is like even if Ronda's shoulders were supposed to be all the way down for that pin, I hated that finish.
Yeah.
Because it did not put Becky over as the dominating champ that you would want to have. It felt like she snuck a win.
Well, if the rumors are correct, Becky was supposed to make Charlotte tap, that Ronda was supposed to kick out, and that the ref went through with the pin because that's what they're taught to do,
which is dumb.
At a house show in Missouri, okay. Hell, on a Monday Night Raw. Main event at Fastlane, sure. Your main event at WrestleMania, that ref better get something in his eye during the count or something.
Yes.
I don't care what the hell it is. He better forget how to count to 3. It's something. Something needed to happen there. He had to have a seizure in the middle of the ring. And I'm saying this is somebody who has seizures, so I'm not being inconsiderate. He should have just had a seizure in the middle of the ring and brought another ref out. It's something. This referee died in the middle of the ring.
It took a lot out of that. Like that.
Yeah.
It took away like that finish again. Even if that was supposed to be the finish. So that's how I'm trying to look at it instead of like, it was a botch, so it was terrible. Like if that is the finish, it was still a terrible finish just because like it did not put Becky over as this dominating champion of what I feel like was needed at the end of this feud of WrestleMania.
Right.
Here's the thing, and I'll say this though, even with these complaints, damn still great main event. Probably it's the best main event since 30 at least.
Yeah, I think we discussed this in the predictions.
But it was still better than that.
Yeah, there was and I actually put this on Twitter after I finally watched it. My biggest issue with that ending, one, I think it was supposed to end that way. I think the rumors came out about the botch finish, because so many people had issue with it and they were trying to save face.
Her shoulders were up. I
feel like WWE does shit like that, and I think the sources that came out and said it was a botch finish was those trying to save face, because the crowd was mad regardless. Even if her shoulders were down, the crowd was mad at that finish.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing I had said was, they did that on purpose to save face for Ronda, to show that, hey, she's not going to lose cleanly to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, hell, her arm, I almost partially think her arm was supposed to be up. That's how bad I think that was. I think they were trying to save face for Rousey, that even though she lost, she didn't technically lose.
Yeah.
And I think they could say that, oh, well, the announcers didn't know what to do, so that's why they said it. Part of me, deep down inside, feels like that was done on purpose. And if it wasn't, to botch the ending of a main event that's so highly publicized like this, that in a match that was very good,
yes,
it could have been better, and I'm going to get to that part quickly after this. But the ending it deflated the whole match for me, and it sucks. It sucks, but it deflated the whole match because, like you said, I wanted Becky to go over Ronda, but I would have much rather her tap out Flair if that's the ending we're going to get, is her rolling up Ronda. I want something, like you said, something of dominance and showing she deserves
Daniel Bryan tapping out Batista at Mania 30 was... I don't like tap outs like for match finishes for like the big ones, because I like hearing the audience count 1, 2, 3 with it. But like that was dominating, like, and he looked good. Like, again, it looked weird. Like it looked weird, and like especially with where it seems they're going now with Becky, it's going to be Lacey Evans.
Yeah,
like they're just.
I love me some Lacey Evans. So
I like that this is what they're doing with Lacey Evans, but it's going to be like I'm glad they're probably going to address it later, but like I'm glad it's not Charlotte or Ronda coming out saying you didn't beat me, blah blah blah, like look at the footage, like, but they have to stay away from that because it's going to taint the first ever women's main event.
Yeah.
As something got messed up.
And if Ronda's not going away permanently, or hell, even temporarily, you can come back with this in a couple months and talk about, hey, my arm was up. But yeah, you need to lay low, at least right now. Like, if you got to let some time go by. The one thing I will say, and it was completely noticeable in this match, for all the credit that Ronda has gotten in her wrestling career, she is light years behind Lynch and Flair.
Yes.
And it was super noticeable. And to be honest with you, she's light years behind Baszler.
Yes.
It's not even clear. I think if you were to put Baszler and Rousey, and I'm assuming Baszler has been training longer, and I know she has her NXT time and stuff like that, so it's a little bit different. But it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And all that made me do is like get excited for when Baszler comes up, because all the stuff that they're pushing with Rousey, I want that dominant UFC fighter and Baszler to come up and be able to step in that spot and actually wrestle with Lynch and Flair, where I felt like those spots that you did not want to see, you had to see, because you can only do so much with Rousey in the ring. And as impressive as she's been in such a short time, and I'm not knocking her wrestling ability, but main event of WrestleMania, it was under the microscope in my mind a little bit more, that Becky and Flair saved.
They did. It was very similar to, you say under the microscope, to the Nakamura Styles match at 33. Was it 33? 34. 34. I forget which one it was. But it was that one was under the microscope because we've seen this match before and we know how great this match can be. And that one didn't deliver. Right. Again, this one was under the microscope because Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, the first ever women's main event, and it still held its own to a point. Like the nitpicking of it. If you remove the botch finish, I think it would have been easily one of the greatest main events of all time.
Yeah, and I'm saying what I'm saying about Rousey purely, like you said, as a nitpicky thing, and that's why it probably wasn't the best match on the card, because we've seen Lynch and Flair too many times, and I didn't want to see Lynch and Flair with a little bit of Rousey. I want to see more Rousey, and that's just me being selfish. That's all it is. I mean, she is what she is, and if she's done permanently, she had no reason to be extra prepared for this match, because why would she? If she really is going to be gone, I don't know how much truth there is to that. But if she's really done, let's say, for argument's sake, she's actually done with wrestling after this match. She got the main event WrestleMania and she's done. She had no reason to be any more prepared than she was. The match was still very good.
Yeah, like she prepared, like she cared about this match, and it showed. Like that, I don't want. Like the way you're saying is like it's not like a prepared way like Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania.
I'm not saying
20.
she's not ready for the match. I'm saying she has no reason to continue to train to try to become next level
professional wrestler
if she's done after this match.
Yeah,
she trained for what she could do right now instead of trying different things that somebody who wants to make a real career out of it probably would have done.
I will say one weird part for me during this match was I understood why they did it, but I think it was dumb. The Charlotte Flair helicopter fly-in.
It
was done basically just to let Joan Jett set up for Rousey's entrance.
Yeah, so, and you know it's funny is I see that right, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to put like a red carpet down the whole ramp to make it look like they've been laying down this carpet the whole way, right? It makes sense, doesn't it? You lay down the red carpet the whole rest of the way. Like she's been walking through the whole stadium with these guys throwing red carpet down. Nope. And then, like I said, the Joan Jett, and that was great. And what happens? Charlotte gets her helicopter ride in. Ronda gets Joan Jett, and Becky Lynch comes out normal as always.
Which that all works. Like, the helicopter ride for Charlotte Flair works, but it doesn't work in the sense that, one, I think I said this while we were watching it. It was like, wait, so Charlotte Flair got dressed and changed at the arena, walked away and took a helicopter in.
Yeah.
And then had to wait for Ronda to enter before she entered from her helicopter.
That shit becomes way more effective if after Kofi's match, they show video of her in a dress flying down into the stadium, walking out, and then it's like, Charlotte's here, the main event's coming up later on, like almost, like you've seen how many times with Vince McMahon coming at the limo halfway through Monday Night Raw because he's going to talk at the end of the night. That's what it should have been, was, oh man, the SmackDown champion's here, and then show a Ronda segment 2 matches later, with her back there training or something like that. That's what they should have done. Instead, it was so clearly pre-taped, so clearly set just to get them set up.
I will say one thing I'm very happy about, though, is that we did not have all the women hug at the end of the main event.
Yes.
Like, I'm glad, like, again, I understand the importance, but I think it also just showed to the fact that, like, this is just a thing. This is no longer we're elevating women, we're pushing women. No, they're just in the middle of it. Right. It was the best storyline, one of the best matches of the night. Easily, like, top probably 3 best match of the night for me. Like, I think, like, it's the Kofi Kingston, then Triple H, and then probably this match.
Yeah, I'd say top 3 or 4 of the weekend for me.
So, what was your favorite match of the week? Walter, Pete Dunne, obviously.
Yeah, by far that was and the best match of this night was Kofi Bryan. I mean, it just was. It had everything you want out of it. Most disappointing match for me, Styles Orton. I had a little bit more high hopes for that match.
Yeah,
I think the location of where it was in the card, being right after Rollins winning, and the lighting problem and stuff like that, I think contributed to that match being an okay match, to at least a good match. I didn't expect it to be the best match of the night, but it left a little bit to be desired.
Mine was probably Baron Corbin, Kurt Angle, just because I don't know what else I expected with that, honestly. Overall, though, a great card. Like, it was
one of the best beginning through ends, and I'm going to include the pre-show. probably the best one they've had since it's become a 12-hour affair.
It just it was way too long.
It was way too long, but you know what? It was the first time that I was willing to watch all 7 hours, and I have not been able to since they've done this.
My biggest issue was I was way too tired from the weekend to where like my body was just exhausted when I sat down at 7:30 to start watching it.
Right.
And it was just a struggle to get through. Man. And like that's where it was just like I'm glad we didn't go up for it. Oh, did you hear about the New Jersey Transit problems afterwards?
Yes, I did.
I am so
I'm really glad you didn't go.
Oh, dude, like I was so happy with that. Like coming home from Madison Square Garden, me and Peach, we had what was it? We left like our seats at like 11:55. There was a 12:15 train. We got on that train right away, found seats, no problem, got home. Listen, I didn't get home until 3 o'clock that morning, just from the train and then the car ride home. But I was so happy we just got right on that train, no problems whatsoever. But, alrighty, until next year with WrestleMania, I guess.
Yes. So,
as much as I would love to stay around, I do have to get to work now. I am glad I got a shower and dressed before we started recording.
Man, I gotta run.
Yep. So, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about next week.
Yes.
At some point, and then we hope you enjoyed it. We hope everyone enjoyed WrestleMania and the G1.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think for the first time in a long time, it was as good as expected. I expected it to be a pretty good weekend. I mean, I didn't see the G1, but as far as NXT and WrestleMania goes, it was. I expected it to be good, and it was good. And I appreciate the goodness of it.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Again, it was just long, and I think that like took a toll on my appreciation of a lot of it.
Right.
But, I got nothing else. Until next week, everyone. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next week. Later, guys.